Don't you know that not listening to the Shenmue AM2 podcast is way uncool?
Welcome back to another episode of the Shenmue AM2 podcast. We're your hosts, Andrew and Matt. I was looking at Matt, waiting for that line to come out of his mouth, even though I've said it on every single episode of this podcast that we have ever recorded. I'm Andrew.
I'm Matt.
We're here to do episode 51.
Back to our regularly scheduled programs after our game show night.
This episode was originally, I have it jotted down here in my notebook.
It says, episode 51, Community Being Awesome.
Yeah, that's what this was going to be, and it still will be part of the episode. We had the Magic Monaco press conference yesterday, where they announced that we would have a Shenmue trailer at the actual Magic Monaco...
Announcement of an announcement.
An announcement of an announcement, and then some, 10 or 11 hours later, they announced there would be gameplay in that trailer.
What happened between those 10 hours?
Hate. A lot of hate. We got a lot of hate.
Recap.
In sports, everyone says, we have the best fans. We have the best fans. Mm-hmm. I really feel that way about Shenmue. Shenmue does have the best fans because we have had absolutely no choice but to band together. Mm-hmm. We wished something to exist. We wished multiple things now into existence. We've gotten Shenmue 3, Shenmue 1 and 2 HD, a ton of merchandise over the years here and there. The first 4 figures. Yeah, ton of stuff because we have stuck together. And I really think Shenmue has great fans. But everyone says our fans are the best. Mm-hmm. But I don't necessarily think that's the case. I'm a huge Montreal Canadiens fan. They're my hockey team. They will be my hockey team till the day I die and I'm in the ground or whatever. Montreal Canadiens do not have the best fans. If you've ever watched games in the... I don't know, it would have been around like 2010 era, maybe. They often booed the American national anthem. Not cool.
That's not cool.
No. Boston Red Sox. Hey, we have the best fans. There are a ton of great... I'm not a huge baseball fan, but the Boston Red Sox, the majority of their fans are great. But if you are in that ballpark, if you're in Fenway Park, and you're rounding for third base, and you're not white... you're going to get yelled at from the crowd by a lot of terrible things.
What?
It happens a lot there, apparently. On multiple occasions. So they can say they have the best fans in the world, but they probably don't. Mm-hmm. The same thing kind of happened yesterday, I think, a little bit.
What, Shenmue fans turned all racist?
No. There has been zero racism in the Shenmue community, to my knowledge. Let's do our best to keep it that way.
Yeah.
I was not, and I tweeted some stuff at Cedric Biscay and had some conversations on the Shenmue Dojo with people on Twitter, and those were all me. Those weren't Matt.
Getting me in trouble? How dare you?
I think Matt did kind of feel the same way, though, about the initial...
Oh, yeah. So we're talking about how they announced there would be a new trailer, but they said that there would be gameplay for select few people behind closed doors. That's what was originally presented.
Yes.
So, yeah, when I thought that's all we were going to get, I was upset as well. Maybe not as upset as you, because, I don't know, I'm always a pessimist. So I always expect the worst. But, so, yeah, it just had been so long, the game's coming out so soon. If truly there was no gameplay to be seen in the trailer, and it only got seen behind closed doors with trusted people or whatever, then yeah, I was going to be very worried about the game. It didn't instill confidence at all.
And I felt the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that being said, we are two people that take time out of her day to do a Shenmue AM2 podcast. Matt has spent hundreds of dollars on Shenmue statues from First Four Figures. I probably have one of, not the biggest, but one of the biggest Shenmue collections on the face of this planet. We did an episode where we listed our top 10 or top 12 games, actually, each, and Shenmue was at the top of our list. We love this series, this franchise.
You sure as hell didn't show it yesterday.
That being said, we can criticize things. Going back to the sports analogy, the general manager of any team in the NHL, especially in Canada where hockey's huge, they're going to get nonstop berated about, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do this? You should do this. Trade for this player. Sign this rookie. Whatever. People say that because they love the product. They love hockey. They're fans.
It's all passion. It's not
passion.
It's not always blind positive passion, but it's a passion of a certain type when you are disappointed in something you love.
Yes. And I tuned into the dojo stream that would be last night. We're recording this on Friday. And Pete told me to get on the hype train. And I'm not throwing Pete under the bus here by any means. He told me to get on the hype train. I never get off the hype train. I'm like one of the conductors at the front of the hype train. I think both Matt and I are.
But saying something like get on the hype train is just like basically appealing to blind faith. It's like I went through this with the Twin Peaks show.
And yes, that's what I wanted to eventually get to. Is
like, I had a Twin Peaks podcast. I've talked about this before, where the show was 25 years old. First 2 seasons in a movie were out for 25 years. Then the show was coming back. I loved the show a lot. I was obsessed with it. I flew out west a couple times to go to the festival where they filmed the show originally. I created the first Twin Peaks podcast on the internet. Had 500,000 downloads. And we had a good community, lots of friends. And then season 3 came out 25 years later. It still had the same creator, the same auteur, David Lynch. But to me, it didn't feel like the same thing. It completely changed. It seemed like David Lynch took what I, at least, and a lot of other people loved about Twin Peaks, and he changed it. And it was fine for a David Lynch project, but not for a Twin Peaks project, in my opinion. But do you think after all that time proving how much I loved Twin Peaks, I was allowed to say anything negative about Twin Peaks? No. Do you think anyone gave me the benefit of the doubt that I was arguing in good faith that I legitimately was disappointed and I didn't want to just love it blindly? No, like half my community turned against me and I got hate all over the place, and now I do not like Twin Peaks that much anymore. The whole experience soured me on it, and I quit my podcast after we were finished. If more Twin Peaks comes out, I won't be reviewing it. I still love those original 2 seasons, but they've been tainted now because of people not allowing me to have my own thoughts, and just they want everyone to agree with them. They want their own opinions parroted back to them. So yeah, that's what this whole situation reminds me of. Anytime we're dealing with a master like David Lynch or Yu Suzuki, there's certain sections of the fandom that believe they can do no wrong. Everything they do is gold. Everything they do is perfect. They're people. They can err, and even if it's not an error, you can still disagree with it. So, yeah, my message is everybody stop taking things so seriously.
In an ideal world, if David Lynch were to listen to your podcast and listen to your criticism of it and make a fourth season of Twin Peaks and adjust it based on your feedback. That would be the ultimate compliment to you, would it not?
Well, yeah, but I would never be so presumptuous as to assume that would happen.
No, but that's the thing. That's why you provide feedback. That's why when you go to McDonald's, there's a comment card you can drop in a box.
Yeah, and also we have a show. We're expected to talk about this subject. So I have to be honest with my thoughts and feelings. You don't want me to lie, right? Well, I guess some people do. Some people do want me to lie because I found that out. They're like, we just have to believe that it's a masterpiece. So yeah, that's what I believe this kind of feels like. I mean, it's not exactly the same. It didn't escalate quite as bad as the Twin Peaks Season 3 thing did.
No, I read some of the comments on yours, and it was just like, it was bad.
Yeah.
So, we love Shenmue. 1 and 2 are really the only games that are out right now. So, let's travel back in time. 1991. Home Alone comes out. Matt and I both love the movie Home Alone.
Mm-hmm. That's the same year the Twin Peaks movie came out, too. Or no, that was 92.
1992 comes around, and we get Home Alone 2, which is almost scene for scene the same movie as Home Alone 1, but I love them.
They're thematically similar, tonally the same. They can be enjoyed equally as a couple of movies.
They're great. I absolutely love Home Alone 1 and 2. Do not like Home Alone 3.
Or 4 or 5.
Or 4 or 5. They are not good.
We're not saying Shenmue 3 is going to be those. But.
No, we're not saying those. But if anyone was a Home Alone fan, they like the product that is available to them. You want to like Home Alone 3 when it comes out.
Yeah.
You want to like Home Alone 4, you want to like Home Alone 5. But you don't have to. Because they're not there in the moment. When they come out, it's not something you have to enjoy. You want to. I want to enjoy Shenmue 3. I want Shenmue 3 to be the greatest game ever made. I want it to blow Shenmue 1 and 2 out of the fucking water. That is the ideal situation. Is that going to be realistically what happens? Who knows?
Yeah. And that's just what we want.
And
we were worried that it might not happen.
And I was worried that why do people that have not... We've already bought this game.
Yeah.
They came to us. Invest in me. I want to make this for you. Invest in me, and we invested.
Boy, did I ever.
Yes. Through the teeth. $7.1 million was invested by the public. Is that the whole bag of money that's going into this game? No. And just the comments that we were getting, or that I was getting, I guess, they're like, well, Red Dead Redemption didn't show gameplay till shortly before it came out. That is a fact. That is true. Does that make that right? Not necessarily, right? The fact that someone said people that are making the game behind the scenes should be the first people to see it. Well, of course they are. They're making it. They will be the first people to see it. But they don't need they were worried that, hey, if this isn't great, people might not buy into it. We bought into this 2 years ago. It doesn't matter. Yes.
4 years ago?
Yeah. A long time. A significant portion of my life. I don't have to have blind faith in this. And that's what really bothers me, is people think you have to have this. Pete said, you can make the choice to be happy about it or you can worry about it. I don't need to make that choice. I can be both. I can be hyped through the teeth.
And if you can't, if you feel one way, you can't make yourself change your feelings. You feel what you feel. You can't, all you can do is lie about it, and nobody wants to lie about how they feel. That just makes you more unhappy.
Yeah, I can be hyped for this game. I still am. I am always going to be hyped. The first minute Shenmue 3 is playable, I'm going to be playing it. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean I can't criticize it and provide my thoughts on it. I thought Cedric messed up big time. Mm-hmm. I think they have messed up multiple times along the way with things that seem like incredibly simple decisions to make. Mm-hmm. If you are doing a press conference about a trailer that you're going to announce that's going to have gameplay in it, and you have not had a trailer that has had gameplay in it, that is 100% your main message in that announcement.
Hey all, we're gonna have a trailer, and it will have gameplay. That should have been in the first tweet, yes.
Yes. It's...
For the first time, gameplay will be shown.
Yes, it's... And I know this is their first time doing something like this, but
this is also their job.
It's their job, and we're 4 years in, or however long we're in. These mistakes can't be happening. But the problem is, they can happen because they do happen. And if I or anyone else in the community wants to say, hey, Cedric, I wasn't mean in my tweet. I tweeted directly at him. I was like, I strongly recommend that you change your stance on this or consider this to avoid negative feedback. I wasn't threatening him like I'm going to come to your house and, like burn your house down or anything. It was feedback. And the fact that people put these, as you say, masters or icons or whatever we want to call them, on such a pedestal of, these people are untouchable. That's not the case. If I'm doing a bad job at something, I want feedback.
Yeah.
We ask for feedback at the end of every episode. Email us your thoughts or whatever. It's Shenmue AM2 podcast@gmail.com, which I imagine we're probably going to get some this time. Yeah. And thank you for whatever feedback you have.
We don't want any yes men telling us that we're perfect.
No.
Give us your real feelings.
You can see what happens when people don't speak their mind. And, look at the United States right now. People didn't, and now they have President Trump.
You just made a big leap.
But you know what I mean, though, right?
Yeah, you gotta speak up.
Yeah, you gotta speak up. And, you don't have to be on the forefront of, hey, this rights and this person's things. But just don't... Blind faith can be very, very dangerous. And... It just bummed me out. It bummed me out that a community that we present a product to, and we've carved out, some followers. And to be honest, I don't know if anyone that listens to our podcast, other than a couple people, actually said anything negative towards us. And a lot of it wasn't even that negative. Someone was like, oh, they're using their podcast as a soapbox or whatever. It's like, well... We have a podcast. We are shouting from the rooftops, buy Shenmue 3, support Shenmue.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. That's what our podcast is.
Yeah, and you don't have to listen if you don't like it.
Yeah.
But anyways, all this was just a quick little bit of drums that happened, and it was fairly quickly over because Cedric clarified, maybe thanks to you and other people like you and their concern.
He did not specifically say me.
Oh, I know.
But he's like, there is... You
weren't alone.
Yes, I wasn't alone, and he took the feedback and clarified it, which it would have been nice if he had have just said it to begin with. Yeah. But without people like me, like-minded people that said, hey, we don't... that wouldn't have happened. That knuckle crack sounded really gross.
Felt so good.
I imagine it did. That being said, we do want to...
Let's switch gears and go with your original topic of this community is so great. We love you guys.
We just want to point out some people that we want to say thank you to. Matisse Boddicker for doing our graphics. He did a bang-up job. Free of charge too, so
nice.
We still need to have him on. That gift that we received from Jake in the mail, which was awesome. He had shirts made for us. His wife did I forget the name of that type of art with the paper.
Quilling.
Thank you. A few months back, and I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast, I saw a Shenmue player's guide that was it was a supplement to something called Hobby Magazine, which is a Spanish video game magazine. And I wanted it, and I'd never seen it before. So I went on to Shenmue 500K and I said, any Shenmue fans here from Spain? And I got responses almost immediately. And one was, I'm going to not butcher this name, Sylvia Via Tere or Teres? Tares?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
She helped me out. And I asked her, said, essentially, hey, can you buy this for me? I'll reimburse you. They only ship to Spain. I would need you to ship it out of the country. She agreed, and she actually didn't charge me for it, which was great. But I was very like, hey, I want to pay you. And she's like, no, you do the podcast, consider it a gift. It wasn't like a significant amount of money. It was an incredibly nice gesture from her, though.
Yeah.
Adam Scipione, him and I were actually talking about, because we received a gift from the city of Yokosuka, we received the new versions of the Shenmue Sacred Spot map. I was really worried that when they sent them, they weren't going to send enough for both of us.
Yeah.
And we were going to have to split the coasters or something, but they sent more than enough. And those coasters...
Ezra must have told them that there's two of us.
Or they saw the video and there was two of us.
True. Yeah.
Hey, there's two people there. Those coasters, to get the whole set of them, that's... Adam Korlick, right? From his videos. He summed it up great. He's like, this is a piece of Shenmue merchandise that I never thought I'd have. And he kind of got almost a little emotional at the end of his video talking about it. And I feel the same way. It was something that I never thought I would get. Or if I did get, I would have to piece out, because there's 12 of them, and it would be incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
So they sent us those, which was huge. But Adam and I were talking about it, and I said, it kind of bumped me out. They didn't include the collector map that you can get stamped when you get your coaster. And he was like, well, maybe when I was filming over there, I might have a couple extra. So he is sent... We haven't received them in the mail yet, but he has mailed them. He's sending Matt and I each one of those, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And he just kind of volunteered to do it.
With the help of lots of folks, you're really getting some unique and rare items in your collection.
Yeah. You are too.
Yeah, I am too. Sometimes people take pity on me and send me stuff too. When you make these deals. But yes, our community is awesome.
A big one here is I posted again in the Shenmue 500K. I'm trying to get all the strategy guides. And a fellow from the UK named Phil Cassifer, sorry if I'm butchering that, mentioned he had one of them. And I'm like, okay. He's like, well, is there any Dreamcast stuff you have looking to make a trade? And I'm like, okay, this is a cool idea, save me some money. And he was kind of specifically looking for Dreamcast stuff, but I obviously knew he's a Shenmue fan because he's in the Shenmue 500K group. And I ended up with 3 of the Japanese limited edition with the soundtrack. And I still had one brand new. So I sent him a picture of that, and he's like, oh. So that piqued his interest. So we worked out a trade. He was going to send me that magazine, I was going to send him this. And there was a little bit of a delay before he was going to mail it. And then I just happened to be browsing eBay and found this Shenmue supplement guide code book thing that I had never seen before. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. And I went to buy it on eBay, but they didn't ship to Canada. But they did ship to the UK. So I asked the seller, I'm like, do you have to... I know you can't ship it to Canada, but will you still let me buy it if I have a UK address? And the shipper was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I contacted Phil and I'm like, hey, you haven't sent me this package yet. I know this is a big favor to ask, but can I get something I'm buying off eBay shipped to your house, and then you put it in the package for me and send it to me, and, I'll cover whatever additional cost of shipping? And Phil said yes. And also, which was huge, and I want to thank him so much, I think he's sending some British chocolate bars with it too, so our next episode we'll crack into those. If my wife doesn't steal them first. But
a nice lion bar or something.
It's a lion bar.
There's a specialty candy store here. They do have some British chocolate bars.
Freak Lunchbox?
Yes. Actually, Pete's Fruitique also has.
Yes, Pete's Fruitique does have some good stuff.
I've never tried any of these, so this will be exciting.
The other thing is, the Royal Mail the guy on eBay, it took one day for it to get from his house to Phil's house.
Yeah.
I was at work and Phil sent me a picture of himself holding it. I'm like, holy shit. The guy confirmed he mailed it yesterday. And again, the UK, I don't think it's a very big country, but
No.
like landmass wise, but
Maybe he just walked a couple streets over and delivered it personally.
I don't know, but it was huge. And the last person I want to thank is Rob from Retro Import Gamer, who there was a few items I was looking at on there, and I'm actually going to pick up when we're done recording here. Canada Post left one of those things on my thing, and then didn't take it to where they were supposed to 2 days in a row. But yeah, he gave me a real good deal on that. So I would mention that Retro Import Gamer is a website. It's a lot of Dreamcast stuff, a lot of Sega stuff, but he always has Shenmue stuff on there. And if you buy directly from him instead of their eBay store, you get a 5% discount.
Cool.
So he hooked me up big time, so I want to thank him for that. So yeah, just be nice to each other. Our opinions don't always have to
Divide us.
divide us.
Unless someone's being really shitty, then feel free to call them out. But
Like Matt and all his Transformers.
yes. Who was I shitty to? What?
No, I'm just I don't know, man. Matt loves Transformers, and I'm gonna make a joke about it every.
All right. You're being real shitty right now. I'm calling you out.
No. Check out our Cool Z video, or our Secret of the Chiyu Men video.
Oh yes, you just spoiled it.
Damn it! Check us out on Facebook.
Oh, do you want before we go? Do you want to actually talk about the couple new screens?
Oh
we saw?
yes. His face looks great, I think.
Rio's face, it looks
Yes.
great. Yes.
Odd position for his mouth to be in the photo, like he's like mid sentence or something.
Yeah, I think so.
But the face looks really good. Looks amazing. And the other photo, the one of the elephant rock, it's called, I said, looks amazing. That's how I started my day yesterday, tweeting this, and then all that hate came in.
Yeah.
But both screenshots, I think, look fantastic.
They do. Yes.
And I love that someone was just like, hey, that's a real place, and showed the real picture. And I was going to joke that it was the Hopewell Rocks here in New Brunswick.
They fell down. They don't exist anymore.
One of them fell down, didn't it?
Oh, is there still more?
I think there's one of them. But yeah, we have something here in New Brunswick. It's on our Medicare cards.
What's your Medicare number? What?
The social insurance number.
So yeah, like Rio looks great now. I'm excited because there's still time to tweak his face even more. But if it went out as it is now, I'd be happy.
Oh, same here.
Shenhua, though, she does not look like the old Shenhua. She looks fine, but I'm not getting like the recognition when I look at her that I am with Rio now. Like
I think that's the perfect way to put it. Is that I don't have that nostalgia feeling about her. When I see the new version of Rio, I'm like, that's my Rio. Her, they kind of. I read a comment somewhere. So they're like, made her a little younger and a little, like, I'm saying this in air quotes, sexier.
a little softer.
Yeah. The character model looks fantastic. It isn't quite Shenhua for me.
I think a large part of that is her costume change as well for me. But yeah, the face structure is different. And you were saying you didn't even notice she was missing her pigtails all this time, and neither did I.
Yeah, I didn't even occur to me that they weren't there in some older photos, apparently. So yeah, that's our episode. Be kind to one another. Check us out at Shenmue AM2 Podcast at gmail.com, youtube.com/Shenmue AM2 Podcast, Facebook group page. Everywhere where you can get a podcast, we're there.
Yes.
We're releasing these on vinyl soon. We'd like to thank our sponsor this week,
Easy Toy Toy Stand in Aberdeen.
I'd like to buy this watch, please.
How about this Virtua Fighter capsule toy?
Nah, this watch, though.
But I've got Wolf here, and Kage.
But what about this watch? I want
got
this watch.
Pie.
The watch, though? Can I get the watch?
Just put your money in the capsule toy machine.
Bye, everyone.